Hi everyone. It's been a little while since I made a video, but today I wanted to share with you. Yesterday I led a webinar with my friend and colleague Brett for a company that I am a consultant for, Delivering Happiness. They're a corporate culture company. And the webinar was on the power of connection and how to create more connection, especially during this time when we're all relating in a virtual way, most of us. And definitely, like teams of work, friends, extended family, all that kind of thing. And I thought it would be important to actually share some of what we went over here because they're useful for everyone. We talked about how connectedness and having a sense of connection is so important for our well-being and health. And I get concerned about, people right now who are feeling super lonely, like they already felt lonely before all of this stay-at-home orders and quarantining, and now that it's been like, I don't know how many days in here in North Carolina, maybe it's as many as 36 days. So yeah, anyway, loneliness is an epidemic, and it's worse for your health than smoking and diabetes. And when you have a good sense of connectedness, you have like more of a chance of living longer, you stress less depression, more self-esteem and ability to have empathy. So it's super important to have a high level of connection. There's different types of connection, and what we went over is the difference between breadth of connection and depth of connection. So breadth of connection is more what we know about each other, some of the details of our lives, the things we talk about, generally speaking out in society on a daily basis, like maybe the causes I'm involved with, or the type of exercise I like to do, or who's in my family, where I travel, what my interests are. But depth of connection is more about creating opportunities to dive in deep and understand the human being behind the actions, like the who and how you see the world, and really gaining more of a sense of understanding and ability to connect on this deeper level of the essence of who we are as human beings. So this is not so easy because we've been conditioned to communicate with each other in a particular way. In fact, most of our conversations with people are two people talking about something outside of themselves. So, it's kind of like triangular. There's these two people and they're talking about a thing. And even if one of the people are sharing something that's on their heart, it's usually not necessarily related to the person that they're speaking to. So depth of connection, one way to bring more depth is to actually talk about what's happening real time in the moment between the two of you. That sounds risky. How often do we go around saying, oh, hearing that, I feel really touched? Well, I know it's not the standard norm, but how do we create situations where we can be more in the moment, present with each other, and getting to understand and listen to each other more deeply? So one of the things we practiced in this webinar I did yesterday was how to listen. And one of the big things about listening is we're often listening in order to have a response. So we're not actually listening. We hear a little bit of what someone says, and then we want to quickly figure out a smart thing to say in response. The other thing that we often do is I'll listen to you as if I know you already, like I know all of you. But here's the truth: we don't really fully know each other. We're infinite. We're infinite, complex human beings, and you can probably spend your entire life knowing more about even the closest person in your life. So when we're listening, the goal is to listen with full presence and without any preconceived notions of who I think you are, making assumptions about how you see the world. Then after you've shared something, a great way to both let you know I'm listening to you as well as make sure I'm hearing you is to paraphrase what I just heard you say. So this is like giving somebody the gist of what you heard them say. So when we do this, we don't have to parrot back word for word, but I'm just sharing back the essence of what I got from you. Once I do that, I check with you and make sure that I got it right. That way, we both are on the same page. You know I've listened and I've heard everything that was important for you, for me to hear. And then I know I've got you. So once that level is understood and there's like unspoken agreement that we're on the same level, then we can go deeper. And so at this point, we can ask a deepening question about what was shared. And deepening questions are really like, you have to think of them as, an invitation for someone to reveal more of who they are. And this is when we really get into the depth. So I wouldn't ask you a question that would elicit more of breadth of connection, like, so where did you buy that pair of pants? Or, so where did your brother get his treatment when he was sick? No, you want to ask questions instead like, how did you feel going through that? Or what's it like telling me that right now? Or what kind of meaning does that have for you? Or, gosh, I felt really surprised by hearing da 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 da. Tell me more about that. So those are all ways of asking deepening questions. So that's just a little taste. Imagine if we were all doing that for each other. When we give each other deep listening like that and really have the generosity of getting each other's world, it's one of the biggest gifts we can give. Like presence is one of the biggest gifts we can give to each other. So even if you're not used to doing this, I urge you to give it a try with somebody that's in your house right now. Maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your spouse, a roommate. And if you have any questions or want to know more, feel free to send me a message. And I hope your heart is well. Lots of love.